Baba has given us the knowledge that when we are in Satyug, how do we operate? We operate inside out. The basis for our actions is not outside. We do not depend on the reasons outside or the fruits outside. They do not dictate what action I would perform. But as I become rusted and impure by taking birth after birth, I come to this stage where I start operating outside in. So all our actions are based on what's happening outside. And if we today see, we are in a state where our actions are many a times even compulsive. So there is no choice. There is no choice about what you want to think, how you want to think. You're just thinking compulsively. There is compulsive speaking, there is compulsive eating, compulsive, actions in various ways. Now, this state in which we are in right now is called a stage of karm bandhan. And Baba says that we again want to go back to the Karmateet stage. Now, what is Karm Bandhan? Karm Bandhan is basically a stage where you operate outside in. So, your actions are determined by your circumstances and your sanskars and other stuff. And it is not a matter of choice, or your actions are not based on knowledge and a state of choice. And Baba says, now you want to go to that state where you are Karmateet. So, as a Brahmin, what is our aim? Our aim is to be Karmateet. Now, this word Karmateet is very interesting because Karmateet means Karm plus Ateet. And in the world, people think that Karmateet means you become you leave action. So you don't do any action. People think that that is the Karmateet stage. But Baba says no. Whenever a soul is on the stage, whenever the soul is in a body, not doing any action is not a choice. Because this whole stage, this world is called a Karm Kshetra. It's a world where you do karma even when you are aware or not aware. So your karma can be conscious, it can be unconscious, but you are always doing karma. It's never that you're not doing anything. So Karmati doesn't mean not doing anything. And there is a concept of karm sannyas. That is, when people become sannyasis, they say, now we don't work. So you leave the home, you leave the job, you go to a jungle and live there. But Baba says, there is no concept of karma sannyas in the world, because even if you live in the jungle, you have the animals to interact with. You will have to, take care of the body, and if you don't fend for yourself, you will beg. But then it's not like you will not fend for the body. When there is a body, you have to feed it, you have to clothe it. When you live with, whether you live with nature or you live with souls, you always will come into interaction. So Baba says that there is no concept of karma sannyas, there is no concept of not doing karma, but there is this stage where we have to arrive, which is called the Karmateet stage, in which you do action, but that action is not based on external circumstances and results. Now, right now, we are very distant from the Karmateet stage, are we not? Yes, so we are very distant from that stage where we do things which has absolutely nothing to do with the circumstances in which we do it or with the result we get from it. Most of our actions, if you see, are very compulsive. So you have some people today say that I don't even think, thoughts come to me. So it's like you are compulsively thinking, or many people say that I didn't want to say this, but I said it anyway. So that means that even your mouth is not in your control. Or people say that, when I feel like eating something, then I can't stop myself. Or when I feel like watching something, I feel like doing something, I can't stop myself. So that is the stage of a slave, is it not? So you are the slave of your body, your sanskars, your sense organs, and then we are also the slave of our circumstances. Somebody is shouting at you, so you have to shout back. So this have to is a stage of being a slave. So the circumstance dictates how peaceful or how not peaceful you will be, or how happy or unhappy you will be. So this is the stage that we are living in, and it is a very slave-like stage. And Baba says that you want to be the master of the world, so it has to start with being a master of your own body, mind, intellect and sanskar. So first we have to have self-mastery. Without that we cannot have any mastery in the world. So now Baba tells us that you can only reach this Karmateet stage when you do everything in remembrance of Baba. Yes, so what is the Karmateet stage? So when you don't do anything based on the dictations of the circumstances and the result you get from it, then why do you do it? What is your motivation to do it? So your motivation to do it is that Baba told you to do it. So you do it because you are an instrument and you do whatever Baba tells you to do. So when you do everything for Baba, when you do everything with Baba, that's called a Karmateet stage. But how do you come to that stage? Only when you remember Baba all the time, and all the other sanskars which make you operate in a stage which is different from doing everything for Baba, all those sanskars have to be burnt in Baba's remembrance. So when you remember Baba and you practice doing everything in remembrance of Baba for very, very long, then you arrive at that stage where you start doing everything in remembrance of Baba organically. So, so let's start from where we are right now and see how we can move to that stage. So Baba tells us, first thing is, remove this sense of mine. Yes, my body, my taste, my feelings, my success, my result, yes, my name, my fame. So you have to first remove this sense of mine from everything, because wherever there is this sense of mine, you cannot do it for Baba, you will do it for yourself. So you will always do it for your ego, your attachment, your greed, your lust. It is all these forces that will drive you to do something. So Baba says, start removing this stage of attachment and surrender everything to Baba. So I am a soul, and who do I belong to? I belong to Baba. So what is my success? There is nothing like my success. Yes, there is nothing like my feeling. There is nothing like, my body or my desires or, I like it, I don't like it. No, because I am a surrendered entity. So everything that I have to take has to come from Baba. And I have to do everything for Baba. So the first step to being Karmateet is being surrendered to Baba. Now, are we surrendered enough? So you see that Baba gives us the knowledge that you are a soul and you belong to me, and everything that you call mine is actually given to you in trust by me. So there is nothing that actually belongs to you. There is nothing that you call mine, but you have one thing that you can call mine. Who is that? Baba. So Baba says you are a soul and your only mine is Baba. So Baba says, change your I to I am a soul and change your mind to my Baba, and remove your sense of my from everything else. So first we have to do this. And how do you do this? You have to think about it, you have to reflect on it, you have to sit in that state of surrender where you say that, I'm just a soul and my world is Baba, and everything that I'm doing here is just like a trustee. And I remember there was this very good example given to me when I was very early on this path, and that is the example of the relationship between an elephant and an elephant rider. So in India we call that elephant rider the Mahavat. So the relationship between the elephant and the Mahavat is that the Mahavat sits on the elephant, and whatever is offered in the trunk of the elephant doesn't even care to see it. It just gives it to the Mahavat sitting above it, and the Mahavat takes it, and the elephant is just an instrument. So Baba says, I am your Mahavat, and whatever good or bad comes, sickness, health, fame, defamation, praise, or whatever the opposite of praise, gain, loss, you give it to me. You are just an instrument. And if you look at it really, it is that way. And there's this very beautiful quote by Mother Teresa, and she says that in the end it's only between you and God, and it's not between you and anybody else, you and anything else. And whatever we do, whatever result we get, we are going to leave that here and go, is it not? But we will go with Baba, and it's important that my relationship with Baba stays intact all the time. So I don't forget Baba when I'm doing karma. I don't forget Baba when I'm receiving the result. And when I'm with Baba, then Baba is the ocean of peace. Baba is the ocean of love. Baba is the ocean of happiness. So how can I be not peaceful, not loveful, not happy? So whatever result I get, I'm always happy, always peaceful, always loveful. My state of mind is in equilibrium. And I'm doing everything. Baba doesn't tell us, don't look after the family, don't go to work, don't have any profession. Baba doesn't say that. But Baba says, don't get entangled in the act of the profession or the fruit of the profession. So even when you are doing something, keep that state of equilibrium, do it in remembrance of Baba. So, just think about, I'll give you an example from my own journey. So when I used to work in office, then I never used to be disturbed by whether my boss is happy with me or not happy with me. I used to give in my 100%, but I was never disturbed if my boss is unhappy with me or happy with me. And because I did not do it for him, I did everything for Baba. So even when the boss is unhappy, I used to be with Baba and be in peace. And when he was happy also, I was with Baba and in peace. And there were people around who used to always ask, how can you be so calm when the boss is so upset? So I used to say that he's upset, he has to take care of why he's upset. I have given my 100%. And I cannot afford to be upset because I am an instrument. I have to stay peaceful. So you see that even while doing karma, you know that you are Baba's child and you don't lose the quality of being Baba's child. What is your identity? Your identity is not the title you get at the job, or your identity is not the title you get in society. Your identity is your resonance and vibration while you're doing work. That is what defines you. That is what makes you you. You are not defined by external labels. So never lose that quality of a Brahmin. Who is a Brahmin? A Brahmin is, the proof of a Brahmin is the temperament in which we are. The proof of a Brahmin is the stage and the vibration in which we are doing everything. So that is never to be lost. And then after you do the thing, whatever result comes, whether it is praise or it is defamation or it is good result or not so good, everything you take in the stride and you give it to Baba, because you did everything in remembrance of Baba, for Baba, so that result also is not yours. Now the thing is, you see, where people get caught up is not in loss, they get caught up in gain. So when you do well, when there's a good result, when there is appreciation, then you start thinking, oh, I did it. And then you forget Baba. And when you think, this is my success, my gain, I did it, then that's a trap. And you got caught in that trap. And then, in spirituality we understand that there's a seesaw, and you should know both the planks of the seesaw. Now, when there is one plank of success, you like it, but then there's the other side also, failure. And when we see success, we forget failure. And then we get caught up in this sense of I did it when there is success, and then when there is failure, you feel it is I failed, and you cannot handle I failed. But where did that begin? It didn't begin with failure, it began with success. So when you say, not my success, this is Baba's success, then Baba's failure, no problem. But if it is your success, then there the problem starts. So Baba says that you have to first think about, you see, on the field of action, you will apply this. But where do you create this sense of I am a soul and I belong to Baba? You create this in moments when you are alone, when you're thinking about yourself and Baba. And you have to keep surrendering. And this word surrender, it is a single word, but I don't think there is something like surrender. I think it's keep surrendering because there's so much of I and mine in us that you have to constantly keep surrendering it to Baba, that I am a soul and you are the one I belong to. And you have to always stay in that frame and keep talking to Baba and surrendering all the thoughts, all that I and my keeps coming in your mind. And then when you are in act, you keep doing that while doing the act, while receiving the result. And slowly, gradually, you become Karmateet, where you start doing everything and then nothing matters, not the act, not the result. And you do it anyway, you just do it because it's Shrimat. And then how do you do it? So then the quality and the mood in which you do it is very loveful. So then you do everything with love. Doesn't matter what you do. Whether you're working in an office, cooking food, cleaning the dishes, sweeping the floor, doesn't matter what you do everything with love. Because when you keep cleansing yourself of this I and mine, then your original qualities of peace, love, happiness start emerging. And you do everything in happiness, you do everything with love. You don't do it to find happiness, or you don't block your love when you don't get the desired result. Because you see, in this world, when we are empty and doing everything, when it is all inside out, or when it is all outside in, then you're doing it to get happiness, to get result, to get love. But when you become full inside, when you do everything in remembrance, that remembrance keeps charging you. And a very beautiful quality of the Karmateet stage is that in the Karmateet stage, when you're working, your whatever you're doing is charging you, not discharging you. And when you are in Karm Bandhan, you are doing everything and getting discharged. Now, what discharges you? Because you see, action is supposed to charge you, right? Action, when you are putting your quality into action, whatever is inside, when you are expressing it outside, then you're making something of it. And that's an act of creation. So creation should enrich you, charge you. But why does it discharge you? Because there's a lot of I and mine, and because of that, there's a lot of ego and negative emotions that come in. That's why you're doing everything and getting discharged also. And it's very interesting, you see, that parenting in the world is considered to be a very selfless act. Yes, people say that parenting is very selfless. Now, if it is selfless, then it should recharge you. You should feel happier and happier as a parent every day. But then why don't you feel happier and happier as a parent? Because there's a lot of attachment and there's a lot of expectation and there's a lot of, insecurity and everything in the relationship. And that's why, because of these negative emotions, you're getting discharged. Otherwise, if you did everything as a trustee, you would love your child's failures, you would love your child's successes, you would love everything. You would just be happy with the fact that there's a child. And you would just feel happy seeing that. But there's so much of ego and attachment and expectation that even a parent who is doing everything for the child is getting discharged every day. So Baba says that that's the quality of a karm bandhan stage. So when your karma is dictated by lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed, you are not doing it because you are an instrument and because Baba told you to, then you will discharge in every moment. You will momentarily feel that, I got success, so I'm on a high. But then the second moment, you will think, let me not be that happy, maybe I'll lose it in the next moment. And then you don't even allow yourself to be happy in the face of success. And I don't know in other countries, but in India we say that don't be very happy, otherwise your happiness will be jinxed. So you even start, you put a slab on your happiness also, because you're so afraid of failure the moment you're happy. The moment you're successful, you start thinking about failure also. You don't even wait to relish it. So Baba says that we are in that state of karam bandhan, and now we have to, keep surrendering ourselves every moment, keep revising this in our mind and heart that I am a soul and all that matters is Baba, and I've come from the soul world. I have to go back to the soul world with Baba. So I have got nothing to do with what happens here. I'm here to do what Baba has directed me to do, and Baba has told me to play my part in remembrance of Baba. So I have to just play my part in remembrance of Baba. I don't have to get caught up in the act or in the result. And I have to keep submitting the act and the result to Baba. And slowly, gradually, you will become so full and with this constant recharge, when you do everything for Baba in remembrance of Baba, then every act recharges you. And the soul becomes so recharged that the soul is again full of love, full of peace, full of happiness, because that's the charge of the soul. And then you do everything with love, with happiness, with peace. You don't need to use anger in any situation. So Baba also talks about anger today, that in this world everybody says that you need to be angry, that situation demanded anger. But Baba says you become angry and you use anger because you don't have enough love. If you had enough love, everything could be done with love. Yes, everything could be done with love, but you can only use what you have, right? So you have anger, so you use anger. If you had that kind of love, then everything could be done with love and very easily done with love. And Baba says, even a thief can be, made to realize that he committed something wrong with love. You don't need to beat that person up or be angry on him. But Baba says even in the police service, you can just use love and make everyone do everything. And just think about episodes in your own journey where somebody's loveful state has made an impact on you. And do you understand the power of love? And just think about how Baba's love makes us do everything, and how Baba can make us do the impossible with love. So you understand that love is always enough. And did Baba ever shout at you or express his disappointment with you? No, he never did any of that. He never needed to do anything, because love can be so persistent, so consistent that I think the only thing that can be consistent is love. Because everything else, after a point you run out of energy and you can't do it anymore. But love is something that you can be very consistent with. And if there's genuine love, then you can always keep doing until that other soul, comes to that place where they realize that I have to give back. And I remember, when I came to Baba, I never thought that I would bring any change in myself. But when you receive this constant love and sustenance, there comes a point where you feel very ashamed of yourself. That what kind of a human being am I, that Baba is doing so much for me and I can't even change one sanskar for Baba. Can I not just get up for Baba? Can I just not remember Baba? So it starts like that. So love can make you really bow down, and that's the quality of love. It can make you do anything. And Baba says that when you are in that state of full charge, then you can do everything with love. You will never need to use anger. And Baba says that if somebody is angry also, don't argue with that person. Just know that they are under the influence of a spirit, the spirit of anger. And when somebody is under the influence of a ghost, what do? You don't engage with them. You just keep quiet. So Baba says, don't argue with anybody who is under the evil spirit, under the influence of the evil spirit of anger. So these are the things that Baba tells us. And there's a question, how to surrender the mind, because mind creates thoughts, and based on our prefixed part, which has impurities in itself. If we are able to do it, then all problems will be solved for Purusharth. So I told you, keep surrendering. Every time you have a thought, you have to give it to Baba. Don't take any negative thought also personally. Sometimes, you think, why did I have this thought? Why did I have this feeling? No, you had it, now give it to Baba. Your mind belongs to Baba. Every thought that was created belongs to Baba. Give it to Baba. And take from Baba also. Not just give it to Baba, because your mind can't be empty. So then take from Baba what Baba is giving you. Baba is telling you that, you are a peaceful soul, you are a loveful soul. So take that blessing from Baba, take that swaman from Baba. So you have to keep doing this, keep enacting your part with Baba. Just like, when a human being lives with you, you keep interacting with them all the time. So Baba also, you have to keep interacting with Baba all the time. And you have to keep building this relationship and taking from Baba, giving to Baba, and slowly, gradually doing everything as an instrument. Okay. Om Shanti.